Good Monday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. Well, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new week, which means it's a brand new opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins today. Of course, you have news headlines coming up on this Monday. Have a message from my book, Word That You Is Led By, and in today's news you can use here in part of my conversation with Holly Robinson Peete. She's a celebrated actress, author, and advocate. We'll be talking about her year as well as how she's been dealing with something that over 30 million Americans are dealing with, and that is overactive bladder. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In international news, Hamas releases third group of hostages as part of truce and says it will seek to extend the deal. The fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas was back on track Sunday as the militants freed 17 more hostages, including 14 Israeli and the first American, in a third exchange under a 4-day truce that the U.S. said it hopes would be extended. In turn, Israel released 39 Palestinian prisoners. Most hostages were handed over directly to Israel, waving to a cheering crowd as they arrived at an Air Force base. Others left through Egypt. Israel's army said one was airlifted to a hospital, and the director of the Soroka Medical Center said an 84-year-old was in life-threatening condition as a result of an extended period of time when an elderly woman was not taken care of as needed. The youngest hostage released was Abigail, a 4-year-old girl and dual Israel-American citizen whose parents were killed in the Hamas attack that started the war on October the 7th. What she endured was unthinkable, Biden said of the first American freed under the truce. He did not know her condition and did not provide updates on other American hostages. Biden said his goal was to extend the ceasefire deal as long as possible. In all, 9 children, ages 17 and younger, were on the list, according to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office. 3 more Thai nationals were released. Separately, Hamas said it released a Russian hostage in response to the efforts of Russian President Putin. The Russian-Israeli citizen was the first male hostage to be freed. The Palestinian prisoners released were children and young men, ages 15 through 19, largely accused of public disorder, property damage, and in some cases causing or threatening physical harm to Israeli officers by throwing stones and Molotov cocktails. Many were scooped up from protests and confrontations with troops. In turn, many Palestinians viewed prisoners held by Israel, including those implicated in attacks, as heroes resisting occupation. A 4th exchange is expected today, the last day of the ceasefire deal, which a total of 50 hostages and 150 Palestinian prisoners are expected to be freed. Most are women and minors. International mediators, led by the U.S., Egypt, and Qatar, are trying to extend the ceasefire that began last Friday. In national news, 3 men of Palestinian descent attending holiday gatherings shot and injured near University of Vermont. 3 young men of Palestinian descent who were in Burlington for a Thanksgiving holiday gathering were shot and injured, one seriously, near the University of Vermont, police said on Sunday. Authorities said the attack may have been a hate crime. The shootings occurred at 6:25 p.m. on Saturday near the campus, according to the police chief. He said police are searching for the shooter. 2 of the men were in stable condition and the others suffered more serious injuries, the police chief said on the release on Sunday. The 3, all aged 20, were visiting the home of one of the victims' relatives and were walking when they were confronted by a white man with a handgun. Without speaking, he discharged at least 4 rounds from the pistol and is believed to have fled. All 3 victims were struck, 2 in their torsos and 1 in the lower extremities. The police chief says that all 3 men are of Palestinian descent, 2 are U.S. citizens, and 1 is a legal resident. 2 of the men were wearing the black and white Palestinian scarves. In more national news, Derek Chauvin's family has received no updates after police stabbing, attorneys said on Sunday. An attorney for Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of murdering George Floyd, said the Chauvin's family has been kept in the dark by federal prison officials after he was stabbed in prison. The lawyer slammed the lack of transparency by the Federal Bureau of Prisons a day after his client was stabbed on Friday by another inmate at the Federal Correctional Institute in Tucson, Arizona, a prison that has been plagued by security lapses and staffing shortages. A person familiar with the matter told the Associated Press that Chauvin was seriously injured in the stabbing. The person spoke to the AP on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to publicly discuss the attack. And finally, in entertainment news, Hunger Games feast, Napoleon conquers, but wish doesn't come true at Thanksgiving box office, says the Associated Press. The Walt Disney Company's Wish had been expected to rule the Thanksgiving weekend box office, but moviegoers instead feasted on leftovers as The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes led ticket sales for the second weekend, according to studio estimates on Sunday. That made the top 5 movies over the weekend: The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes with $29 million, number 2, Napoleon with $20 million, number 3, Wish with $20 million, number 4, Trolls Band Together with $18 million, and number 5, Thanksgiving with $7 million. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Monday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Here's to the beginning of another week. Why would you taint something so great by holding on to something from the past? Go forward today with a new mind and a new way of thinking about yourself and what you can do in the world. Now let's get to it. Have an amazing Monday. Holly Robinson Peete is featured today's news you can use. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your news you can use. Holly Robinson Peete rejoined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her success, but also dealing with overactive bladder, something that over 33 million Americans are living with. It's a bit of our conversation.
Holly, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. It's great to talk to you again.
Yeah, you've had a lot going on, Holly. We had a chance to talk to you after you got your Hollywood Walk of Fame, and then, of course, you released Charlie Makes a Splash. And this year, of course, having the work you're doing with the Holly Wright Foundation being recognized. Talk to us about this experience, Holly. What has it been like for you to use your platform the way you have and to see the difference you've been able to make?
Well, Cyrus, the role of advocate is one I'm extremely proud of, as you know. And I love talking about things that people don't necessarily talk about. It helps people feel seen. It gives information that you may not get. I remember when we got the diagnosis of autism, I didn't see a lot of advocacy out there. I didn't hear, celebrities really using their platform to talk about it. And I know that was helpful to so many. So, it's a role that I'm very proud of. And so I've been partnering with Sumitomo Pharma America as part of their Time to Go campaign, which brings attention to overactive bladder, or OAB, which is a chronic condition that creates a feeling of a sudden urge to urinate that is difficult to control, and a condition that I'm personally affected by. So it was a natural fit.
Yeah. So let's get more into that, Holly, because as you said, you've been able to bring attention to a lot of different things. So when did you first notice symptoms, and what finally made you speak up when it comes to overactive bladder?
I first started experiencing OAB symptoms a few years ago. I knew something was going on because I just had this urgent need to go. It just didn't feel like a normal need to go. And it was like now, right? At work, at home, wherever I was, in public places, in public events. And I would just go everywhere I would go. I would just immediately find out where the bathroom was. And, when I had to go, it was like I had to go.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. But that's on tomorrow with more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course, your entertainment spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.